Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about a really special project called Venus. And Venus is a protocol where you can invest and earn and borrow money. So its main token is called XVS. And the reason I want to discuss this today is because I believe Venus is priced at a really low price point. So it's a good opportunity to enter a trade. We're going to be discussing that today. If you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Mauricio, and in this channel, I speak about how to properly invest during the bull trends and the downtrends. So if this is something that is interesting to you, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click on the notification bell. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so yes, Venus. Basically, Venus is a protocol where you can actually go and invest token that you have lying in your wallet. So let's say you have Bitcoin or Ethereum or BNB in your wallet and it's not generating you anything. So maybe you want to earn some interest on that. So you can actually lend those tokens, and the borrower will pay interest to you. So normally this would be kind of risky. But what Venus does is they over-collateralize loans. So you have to leave in the protocol more money than you can borrow. In case you don't repay, they will take that collateral and use that to pay to whoever lent that money. So my belief is that this is a very secure place to lend your crypto and earn interest on that. So now let's go and explore the website, and we'll continue seeing and discussing this. Okay, here we are. This is the website of Venus, and here you can see all that is available to you once you connect your wallet. Basically, the interesting part is over here. And this is how much you can earn, your interest in your tokens. So let's say you have USDC, waiting for a good price for any other token. So you have that waiting in your wallet for an opportunity. Well, you can actually lend this in Venus. And once you have actually a good need for that, you can just take your money back and you will have earned interest while you left the money there. So this is specifically good for whenever crypto winter comes, which hopefully won't be until after October. In this part, you can see how much you can earn interest. So let's say BNB, which usually earns a really low interest rate in other protocols. Right now in Venus, we can earn 8%, which is really good. So they will allow you to lend all these tokens. And the other part of this protocol is the borrow market. So you can actually borrow money, and you can actually leave, let's say, for example, you can leave Bitcoin and borrow BUSD, if that's something that might be interesting to your investment strategy. And these are the rates. So, of course, so this is Bitcoin. This is a rat version of Bitcoin. You can earn borrow for 1% interest. And this interest rates change, right, guys? So right now it's 1%, which is really low. And the other really, really interesting part of Venus is this part. And I think this is one of the most attractive features of Venus. You can actually deposit, let's say you deposit 1 Bitcoin. And this is, you might not have 1 Bitcoin lying around, but let's suppose you do. And so that's around 50, right now that would be around $40,000, right? So you can borrow XVS, which is a stable coin. So it's supposed to be close to the price of $1. Of course, it's not as stable, so sometimes it will be 5% above or 5% below $1. The nice thing about this, guys, is you can borrow, traditionally they tell you can borrow a safe maximum of 40% of your tokens. So if you lend them 1 Bitcoin, you will earn interest in that Bitcoin. And while you do that, you can borrow 40% of in VI, which is their stable coin. And that VI doesn't have to pay any interest. So you don't pay any interest on Vi. And there's no actual date when you have to return that money. You return it when you decide you want to return it. So the strategy I took before is I actually invested, or I actually lent my USDC through Venus. I got a nice interest rate. A few weeks ago, it was around 19%, which was extremely good. There's no bank in the world that will give you 19% for dollars, right, guys? So I got a really nice interest on my USDC, and I also came here to this section, Mint Repay Vi, and got a loan of 40% of whatever dollars I had invested here. And I took that Vi and I went and purchased Cake because I found Cake at a really good price point. So when I did that, and I actually deposited Cake in the Cake pool to earn interest. And back then, the interest on Cake was around 200% a year. So as you can see, guys, I was earning money on my USDC, and at the same time, I was earning money on the Vi, and it's like a really huge interest rate on Vi. You could change this for Bunny if you wanted. Like we spoke in the last video, and you will see that video on this side of the screen. We spoke about Bunny potentially being in a good price point. And remember, guys, I need to say this. I'm not a financial advisor, so take this with a grain of salt. Do your own research, but I'm going to be explaining what I find out and the strategies that work for me. So it might be useful for you to create your own strategy. But what I did is I took this Vi. I don't have a specific date where I have to repay it. And since I was lending a stable coin and borrow a stable coin, there's no real big price fluctuations. So I was not in danger of getting a margin call. What is margin call? Margin call is when the whatever money you left there is not enough for you to repay the loan. So if whoever lends Bitcoin, when the big price of Bitcoin went down 50%, if they had borrowed more than 50% of Bitcoin, now they have to put more money to compensate for that. Because remember, guys, this is an over-collateralized loan. I hope I'm not getting too technical, but if you lend, suffice to say, if you lend a stable coin and borrow a stable coin, then you're fine. The worst thing that could happen with that strategy is if the price of Cake, which I traded for the Vi I got in this protocol, went down, then the problem would be that whenever I have to repay Vi, and remember, guys, there's no set date when you have to repay, then I wouldn't have enough money to repay. But here's the thing. I purchased Cake at a low price point. I earn interest on that. I did that for about a couple months. So in the end, I ended up with a lot more a lot more Cake, and Cake was more expensive. So I came back here. I repaid my Vi. So let's go back to the browser. So I went back here and I repaid my Vi here, but I had already earned a lot of money, both from the price appreciation of Cake and from the interest rate I got in Cake. And I actually repaid Vi, and I still left my USDC there because I was earning a really good interest rate. So this is a little bit more of a complex strategy for you to earn money. But this is what you can do with Venus. Now, let's size this project. Is Venus a tiny project that might be a little bit dangerous to invest in? We will get that information here. So there's close to $3.5 billion supplied to Venus. So this is people who have lent $3.6 billion. Guys, that is a lot of money. There's plenty of small banks in the US that I'm sure have less than that amount of money. So for this to be a decentralized protocol, that's really amazing. And this is one of the protocols in the Binance Smart Chain with the most investment. They have borrowed, people have borrowed $1.2 billion from Venus. So if you subtract one from the other, you will get $2.4 billion in liquidity, which speaks of how good this protocol is. Remember, guys, a bank, if you deposit $1, the bank can magically create $10. And some banks will do more than that. But in the US and in Mexico and in many countries now, governments have told banks you cannot loan more than $10 for every dollar you have deposited. So the liquidity would be 1/10 of the total supply in regular banks. Here, the liquidity is a lot more than that. So your money is safer, much safer than in a regular bank because of that. So that's something I wanted to show. Part of the interest you earn it in XVS. So now it's time to talk about XVS. Okay, and the best way to understand what the price of XVS is to see the charts. And this is the current chart. Let's turn this into a better chart and go to a 1-day chart. As you can see, guys, this is back in 2021. This protocol started in early October in last year. So in crypto time, that's a lot of time already. It started with a low price. It went up as every other project did. And the price of XVS actually reached $141 per XVS. And it was aiming higher. And two things happened. The same thing as Bunny. We saw the price of Bitcoin drop 50%. And with that, every other altcoin, including XVS, went down 50%. And the other thing that happened was the exploit, right, guys? Wherein this bad person or criminal, it was not a criminal because he just exploited the system. I guess he's a criminal in a way. So he made the price of XVS go down because of different things. One of them is that a lot of people who had earned not stable coins, but like BTC or ETH got liquidated because of the price fluctuations. So the price of Bitcoin, everyone who was there invested, they dumped XVS because they wanted to repay their loans and try to save as much as they could save. And so the price of XVS went as low as 20 when that happened. So that's like a 6x or a 7x, 6.5x. Now the price, so what Venus is doing is they're trying to compensate those users who got liquidated. So you get liquidated when you don't have enough money to repay whatever you borrowed. So when the price of Bitcoin went down 50%, a lot of people could not repay their loans. They got margin called. So this was not Venus' fault. However, they understood that a lot of people suffer because of this, and they proposed helping those people. So they didn't have to do that, but they are. So if you go to their blog, you will see what they're doing proactively to prevent this from happening again. They created a new token, and so they have a strategy in place for this. This brought the trust back in Venus, and it made Venus go from 20 all the way to 37. So that doubled the price in a few days. Now, here's the thing. If, and this is an if, the price of Bitcoin goes back to closer to 60,000, let's say 55,000, and we're not so far from 50,000 anymore. We're at close to 40,000, so we can see here the price of Bitcoin. And as the trust comes back to Venus, then the price of this token could go back. How much? I'm not as optimistic as I am with Bunny, but this token didn't fall as much. So I would imagine it could double, right? If not triple. So we could be seeing it at around 70, which is a fair price. And by doing that, you could double your money. Now, let's discuss how big is the project in terms of market cap. And in CoinMarketCap, this is project number 124. It's on the second page of CoinMarketCap out of, 40 pages. I don't know how many there are. So it's a mid cap. We already saw the value locked, and their market cap is $392 million. So it's a mid cap. It's a mid cap tending towards a lower cap, small cap. However, was not true long ago. They actually had $1.4 billion of market cap before everything went downhill. So potentially this protocol can go back up. And if this happens, I would imagine it would at least double whatever investment you have in Venus, in XVS. But this is a really interesting protocol. And I think it's a really solid one because it solves different things. There's competition right now. You probably have heard of BlockFi and Nexo. They kind of do the same thing. Those are centralized. Venus is decentralized. The interest rates are different. Venus is not KYC, so that means that they do not demand that you send a copy of your passport and go through all that and tell them where you live and all that stuff. So Venus doesn't care about that as long as you have a wallet with whatever money you want to lend. That's enough for them. So they have competition, and at the same time they are in a good place where they could attract more money. And if you go and use the strategy I mentioned before, lend a stable coin, borrow a stable coin, and use that borrowing to invest in something that is at a good price point, like Bunny. It might be more useful than actually buying the XVS token. Now, the good thing is that you actually earn interest in XVS. So as the price of XVS goes up, whatever interest you have earned in XVS will go up. So that's really interesting. I hope this was useful to you. I think Venus is one of those protocols that are more useful, at least in the Binance Smart Chain. But in general, if you find this video useful, please like it. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you want to learn how to properly invest during the bull trends and the downtrends. That's it for today, guys. See you next day. Bye-bye.